children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, family drawing near.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the center.
So good to have everyone here again.
Getting ready
Love
for
our
Christmas,
center.
December
Yes.
1st.
Oh,
great,
boy.
great month. Oh, welcome to the center.
And welcome to the best place to be in Las Vegas on Sunday. And so right now I'd like you to find a comfortable spot in your seat and just relax. And take in a deep breath. And as you exhale, release any issues that you had before you entered here. Because now that you're here, it's all different. And take in another deep breath and become aware of the presence in this room right now. The presence of peace and love and joy and togetherness. To exhale your agreement back into the room. And again, take in a deep breath and look inside yourself and see the joy and the love that you have and you share with everyone you meet, even the times that you don't really want to. And exhale that back into the room. That agreement to be the presence of God in this room, on this earth, at this time. How marvelous is that? And as you continue to enjoy the presence of love in this room, just remember the times before you came here and the times that you said, I need to be in a place of joy where I can share who I truly am, where I can be the best I can be, where people appreciate who I am and where I have come from. Where only the best is called for and recognized. And this is the place. And this is the time. And this is the love that you bring when you come in the door. This is what you add to the vibrations in this room, in this place. Who you are makes a difference. And it's all love and it's all joy. And it's all wonderful. And all because of you. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend. Good morning. Good morning, family. You feel like singing? I feel like singing some Daniel Neighborhood.
You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are.
It's almost like they He could hear it in my voice.
You are sacred love.
Isn't that nice?
Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. So the way God showed the way, I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place.
You are sacred love.
You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are.
Oh, you're so beautiful.
You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you
The face of God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me, the best part. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Yes, I hold you in my heart. Yeah. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are my family. You are the face of God.
Good morning. Good morning. If you would with me, close your eyes. Taking a wonderful deep breath. And as we do this, we let go of all that has occurred up until this moment. And as I stand here and I know that this wonderful law of the universe that I call God, that you might call Spirit, whatever the word that we use, it really cannot describe all of the wonders and the joy and the love that I feel right here and right now. I am so, so grateful for this day. When I wake up in the morning, I say, thank you, God. Thank you for another opportunity to make my life wonderful. To join with a group of people of like minds, knowing that we are our world. We present this to the world of who we are by loving, accepting, and becoming the best of who we are. And I say thank you. Thank you for these opportunities that sometimes I have contrast in my life that allow me to really wish for and hope for and believe that there is so much more that I am able to create and make the best of my world. And that I know each person here is a part of my world. As I love each and every one of you and appreciate where you are in this moment in your life, and to be grateful for this past week of family, celebration, happiness, and joy that hopefully that we all shared. And I am so, so grateful for this center that I get to call my home, that I come to every Sunday morning and say, thank you, God. Thank you for this place that I am accepted, that I am loved, that I am joy, and I get to demonstrate that. And as I receive from each and every one of you the love and the joy and the happiness that you bring forth, I am honored, I am blessed, and I am so, so grateful. I'm grateful for our ministers, for our musicians, our sounds, our volunteers, all of the people that make this place work. The decorations for the holidays just bring joy to my life, and I say thank you to all of the people, all of the volunteers. And as I release my word into the universe, and just know that it is so. And I say thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is.
Well, Mickey, we love you. You love us and we love you. And I'm so grateful too for all of you. And these wonderful decorations. What do you think? This was Daisy, right? Daisy and some beautiful volunteers and friends. So beautiful. We're going to continue with that Daniel Made My Feel. All right. Yeah. I tell you, every Sunday I feel like I'm in the right place. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place, yes, at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome you can do it too. My soul is welcome here. I can't hear you. I'm welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. You got the power. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Again, I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Sing it to me. My soul is welcome. I don't believe it. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. What a crowd! What singers we have!
Hey, Howard, Dave.
How you doing?
I'm good. I bring the sexy back.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Excuse my voice, but if you're comfortable, please say with me, God bless America and the rest of the world. And just greet a neighbor and say good morning.
I love that voice. Don't give me that voice without me. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. In the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Yeah, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. And I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I got a text from Allie Caliendo that she's the gal that's in charge of foster kinship. And foster kinship is something we've been doing for the last, how many years, Cheryl? Last 8 years. So she wrote me and told me exactly how wonderful the center has done this year. And Stacy asked if I'd get up and tell everyone exactly what we did do. We absolutely did great. So I'm going to just read to you what she said to me. She said, "Thank you, Tina. The center, once again, has made it possible for us to be able to help so many people this year that without our help would not have had the Thanksgiving that they had. I believe," she said, right now, because she wrote me at night, "it was 23 boxes that we put together, which equates to $600, by the way. We put $530 in checks we gave to them, and $580 in cash. That equates to about $1,700 at $25 a piece, or if you got the turkey as well, $40. But what a great difference we made. So every one of you should just feel really good about having made a difference this year. Thank you so much from Stacy and Foster Kinship.
All right. If you are here for the first time or haven't been here for a long time, please sign our guest book in the grand hallway. And thank you for coming to celebrate with us today. You're always welcomed here. Thank you. Take us tails out of school. We have a wonderful speaker here today, and I don't have a bio to read because it's long as my arm, because she has many degrees and she's done many things. She's an interfaith minister, but she's really just family to us. Welcome, Red Val.
Of all the many things I'm grateful for today, I'm grateful you didn't read that bio again. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you today to continue
and maybe round up this holiday Thanksgiving weekend. You know, the last time I gave a talk here was on the topic of unity. Let me keep my mic here. And at the end of that talk, I had referenced the eulogy that was given by the bishop for Representative Elijah Cummings' funeral. Did anybody have a chance to see any of that? It was very moving. But one of the things he said was that as busy as Representative Cummings was, he always came to service. He never missed a service. And the reason he said that Elijah came was to be reminded of who and what we are and why we want to live this spiritual life of being grateful and giving to others. That's why Elijah came, and that's why we're all here today, right? Yes. So today's topic is Rohatsu. And Rohatsu is really just the Japanese word for the larger celebration of Bodhi Day. And Bodhi Day is a celebration of the day that the Buddha became enlightened. And so I prepared a talk for you today to show that there's a lot of parallels between the life of Buddha and each one of you. So Rohatsu is just a Japanese word that means the 8th day of the last month of the year. And that's actually going to be next Sunday, December 8th, right? But let's talk about some of the basics of Bodhi Day, because I think that it's important to put it into context. Why did the Center for Spiritual Living choose Rohatsu, of all things? Why did it choose Rohatsu as the topic for today? Did anybody think about that when you saw it announced? Did anybody think about that? Had anybody heard of Rohatsu before? What was it?
Because we welcome all paths to God.
We do welcome all paths to God. And I think it's a great opportunity to learn about those other paths because it's important. It helps us to expand our understanding and our compassion and our willingness to receive, right? So let me give you some context, just a little bit about what is Bodhi Day or Rohatsu, right? So the basics are that we do celebrate it was the day that the Buddha became enlightened. And the way that people celebrate it is very similar to the way that we celebrate the Christian holidays. They start out by eating a mixture of rice and milk called sujata that was fed to the Buddha when he was under the tree. Am I?
Your mic is good. Don't worry.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. So he sat under that tree for a long time and he became very weakened. So he was fed this mixture. And so that's one of the ways that we celebrate Bodhi Day or Rohatsu is by eating that mixture. And then they just spend the day in remembrance, in honoring, in celebrating and chanting and meditating and extending acts of kindness. But really, Rohatsu or Bodhi Day is no different than any other day in the life of a Buddhist. And really, is it any different than any other day in our lives? Isn't that what we strive to do? Right? So, again, more context. Like Christianity has branches, right? Many, many different denominations, as does Judaism. Buddhism has 3 branches. Does anybody know what those 3 branches are? Guesses? I'm trying to get audience to participate. Well, there are actually 3 branches or schools of thought. So one is Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, right? And so Mahayana is the school or the branch of Buddhism that celebrates Rohatsu. And the reason why Rohatsu is a Japanese word is because it's celebrated in Japan. It's celebrated in other parts of Southeast and East Asia, but it's big in Japan. It's part of Zen Buddhism, right? So that's the context of it, and I think that it's important. But the other thing that I wanted to let you guys know about Maharana Buddhism is that their belief, so Theravada is kind of the orthodox really strict school of thought in Buddhism, right? The Vajrayana is more kind of esoteric, a little bit taboo, right? But Mahayana believes and teaches that everybody has the ability to become a Buddha. Everybody has the ability. So it's like, it's attainable to all. It's not some esoteric thing. It's not some orthodox ascetic thing where you have to sit in a temple or be a monk your whole life. It says, no. This is accessible to all of us. And doesn't Science of Mind teach that as well? Right? This is exactly what Ernest Holmes was teaching in Science of Mind. Does anybody know the traditional meal on Bodhi Day or Rohatsu? It's typically the mixture of rice and milk, right? And any other vegetarian meal. Why? Why is it vegetarian? Consistent? It's consistent with the Buddhist belief that we don't want to kill anything. We want to celebrate all life, right? So, like those who celebrate Rohatsu, we of Science of Mind, we don't want to just spend one special day, but every day trying to reconnect to the beliefs that we have, trying to develop our thoughts, clear our thinking, right? So that we can reach that state of enlightenment as well. Buddha meditated without moving beneath that Bodhi tree for 49 days. 49 days. He didn't want to move until he reached that ultimate realization. So my question for you today is, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? How much time are you willing to devote to this goal? We all say we have, right? We all want to reach this level we want to attain this spiritual awakening. But how much are we really willing to do? How much time are we really willing to give? That's the thing to think about. In the Science of Mind book, I got some quotes for you. I've edited them a little bit for time. But from chapter 5, from the teachings of Jesus, there's a section on the Great Awakening on page 465, if anyone wants to check my accuracy. There's a statement in quotes that says, "And when he came to himself," and when he came to himself. That is the Great Awakening, isn't it? That is the Great Awakening, the moment in which we now live. In this moment, we're asking these questions of ourselves. Is there not plenty in the universe? What do we want? Why do we suffer? In this divine awakening, there seems to be an inner witness who remembers that we came from a heavenly state, that we know the universe is not limited. It's abundant. Nothing can be taken from. Nothing can be added to. We are awakening to the realization that the universe is perfect and complete. It gives. It is love. It is good, and it wills only good to all people, to everyone alike. Nothing can be taken. Nothing bad can be added. And all are equal. Is that not a wonderful message? Is that not consistent with the teachings of the Buddha? Absolutely. So Buddha's story is really our own story. But I don't know if all of you probably heard some version of the story some point along the way, but I just want to briefly retell the story, because it's a fabulous story. More than 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama was born. He was born into a royal family. And his mother and father, the king and the queen, loved him dearly. But early on, his father was told, your son Siddhartha is going to grow up to either be a beloved spiritual leader or a ruler of the kingdom. And the king desperately wanted his son to ascend to the throne and follow in his footsteps. So he protected Siddhartha. He kept him inside the palace walls. He provided for his every need. He educated him. He prepared him. He kept really control over his life. But as fate would have it, one day when Siddhartha was a young man, he ventured outside the palace walls. And there he saw suffering and pain and disease and death and desire and want. Things he had never been exposed to inside the palace walls. And for Siddhartha, it was like mind-blowing. What is this suffering? Why can't everybody live a life without suffering? How do we end this suffering? And that became his quest. And that's why he sat under that Bodhi tree. And he determined, I will not rise until I have these answers. So he sat under this tree, under this very old sacred fig tree, with a purpose of finding enlightenment. And he said that even though his flesh would fall from his bones and his bones would crack, he was not going to move until he reached that enlightened state. And so during this journey, he had to face his demons. He had to tangle with temptations. He had to transcend the distractions that we all deal with, right? Greed, lust, anger, doubt. All of these things he had to overcome. He first achieved a state of calm awareness. His mind was clear and still, like a pool of water, reflecting his inner thoughts and feelings. He started to reflect on his past thoughts, his past words and deeds. In the middle of the night, he reflected on all living animals and all humans and the meaning of life and death. As dawn approached, he understood the relationship between cause and effect. And he understood that everything and everyone is connected, and that each one's action creates their own destinies, right? He understood how ignorance of truth is the cause of greed and selfishness and suffering. And so as the morning star appeared in the sky, Siddhartha then contemplated the Dharma, the universal truth about the nature of reality. And in that moment, he became the awakened one, the Buddha. In Science of Mind, Chapter 8, Power of Thought, page 146, edited once again, through spiritual discernment, we see that we have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact. A power that can overcome every obstacle in experience and set us safe and satisfied and in peace. It can heal and make us prosperous in a new light and a new life. And then it says, if God be for us, who could be against us? If God be for us, who could be against us? Nobody. Nobody could be against us. Buddha's enlightenment led him to the central teaching of Buddhism, which is the Four Noble Truths. And they basically can be summarized as this. Humans cling to these impermanent states of being and material objects, and this is called dukkha, suffering. By trying to hold on to these things, humans end up getting caught in samsara, the cycle of death, suffering, and birth, rebirth. However, we can stop following this cycle by choosing to follow the Eightfold Path. And if this path is followed, then one can experience nirvana, which is that transcendent state in which there is no suffering, no desire, no sense of a separate self, and we're released from the effects of karma and released from the endless cycle of death and rebirth. During Siddhartha's time of contemplation, he had to overcome threats from Mara, the evil demon, who challenged his right to become the Buddha. When Mara attempted to claim the enlightenment as his own, Siddhartha touched his hand to the ground and he asked the earth to bear witness for him to his enlightenment. And the earth responded, and he did. In order for Buddhists every day to stay grounded, they follow the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path includes right understanding. Right understanding means understanding the Four Noble Truths and how those truths will end suffering. Right thought is replacing any violence, thoughts of ego or power, with thoughts only of love. Right speech is not engaging in gossip or lies, speaking only with compassion. Right action is being moral and honorable in our conduct. Right livelihood is abstaining from anything that is involved with the killing or taking of a life. No arms trading, no selling of spirits, nothing that would take away from our right-mindedness. Right effort is that energetic will to do what is good and honorable and to prevent evil, and not to just remain silent or complacent when we see evil around us. Right mindfulness is being aware and mindful and attentive. And right concentration is discarding lust and worry and all of those things, focusing only on joy and maintaining that focus until all that remains is just our awareness. That is the Eightfold Path. In Science of Mind, Chapter 14, Physical Perfection, page 202, again edited, in our work, we treat man not as a physical body, neither do we treat disease as belonging to him. The reason being that if we do, we cannot subsequently free him from it. Healing is clear thinking, right thought, constantly poured into consciousness until we eventually purify it. Isn't that what the Buddha was talking about? Isn't that what the Eightfold Path and the Noble Truths are about? Living in the light of humility, living in the light of kindness and compassion. That's the deep lesson and the timeless inspiration of Bodhi, of Rohatsu, of the teachings of the Buddha, of the teachings of Science of Mind and the Center for Spiritual Living. The suffering of humanity and its causes persist today, as it did in the time of Buddha. The life question that Buddha asked himself remains. How do we overcome suffering? How do we overcome greed and anger and confusion and create truly, truly compassionate people and societies? How do we do that? Why, after 2,500 years, are we still asking the same question? What is our authentic response to the world's pain as it exists today? In Japan, the Japanese Zen monasteries celebrate Rohatsu with a week-long, very intensive meditation retreat. The monks meditate and spend time in a lot of meditation, but even as they cook or clean or do their daily chores, they maintain meditation. They maintain silence. And their physical comfort is not a consideration. A lot of times, in Japan this time of year is very cold. And so they have no heat, the doors to the temple remain open. It's not about their physical comfort. The purpose is to get the participants to transcend their body. Don't focus on your body. Buddha taught that the world is a looking glass, It gives back to every man a true reflection of his own thoughts. Rule your mind, or it will rule you. Since everything is a reflection of our minds, everything can be changed with our minds. Science of Mind teaches that if we take time daily to examine our thoughts, right, to refine them, to tune them, so that we can stay focused and aligned with the truth that we believe, with the answering and elimination of suffering, then we can answer that question and fulfill our purpose. We will embody that oneness with God, with all of life. We can rearrange and be enlightened by that new understanding. And really, what it's saying is we can all become Buddhas. Think about it. And I thank you. Pass it around, but this is a Bodhi tree, and the leaf is almost shaped like a heart. So I'll pass it around so you all can see. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Don't forget that we have cake for those celebrating whatever you're celebrating. Also, we were here last Sunday. It was before Thanksgiving. And then we come back this Sunday and it looks like Christmas. So let's just clap. Let's thank everyone who helped decorate. Where are you? We read them out. They stayed home. And Jane over there, who's shy. Little elves. The little elves. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love this time of year. And not because it's my birthday this time of year. Yeah, right. But just because. Yes, absolutely. I would like to ask our minister, what? Then we have no children today. They are staying home today. And it's okay. They forgot that we had cake, obviously. And it's okay. Can I ask any ministers visiting or practitioners visiting, please come forward, and our ministry or prayer team, please come forward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And they're here to celebrate with me and with us. I don't know who would like to give us a closing prayer. If you all would stand and connect, that'd be great. Because I'm starting to lose it here.
All right. Dear God, or whomever you affirm in your lives, let us all just take a moment, take a breath in, and give thanks for all the blessings in our lives. It's so easy in our day-to-day hustle to focus on our burdens rather than our blessings. But we truly have many more blessings than burdens. And when we focus on them, the burdens disappear. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. Let's sing.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, love was all I read.
All right.
Repeat after me.
Loud and
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I feel it in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Have a beautiful day.
Come on, dance with me.
Oh, yeah. I got this feeling inside my bones. To let you baby when